Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Glimo. I'm the Keeper of the Chronicles for this Call of Cthulhu Mask of Nyarlathotep campaign on Roll20, streaming to Twitch and YouTube. Welcome to session 29. What horrors will our heroes unearth in Egypt this week? So the world's become an even more of a scary place since the last time we played. I've been trying to get some gaming time in to keep me from going too stir crazy. I did some co-op streams with Spazzardus doing some classic NES games. We managed to get all the way through Bubble Bobble.
Oh my God.
I didn't even know that game had an ending. Apparently, it has three. Um, I've got some upcoming guest starring on AP Gaming Reel coming up. Other than that, like everyone else, I'm sure I'm just binge watching a bunch of stuff when I'm in between work stuff. Um, CBS All Access is giving out a month of free streaming. So if you want to marathon Picard, now is the time. Uh, if you enter the code GIFT, you can get that. I made it through all that this weekend. I enjoyed it a lot. There's a lot of cool nostalgia stuff in there. It's very non-Trek. Uh, no spoilers, but it's there's a lot more action than I'm used to in a Trek. There's also there's a lot of like heist stuff going on. Um, it's really it was I liked it. I thought it was fun. But it's definitely like if you watched Next Generation, if you watched Deep Space Nine, it's not like that. So I don't know, give it a whirl if you're feeling up to it. You can get 30 days for free. Plus, you get all the other CBS back catalog that's not on Hulu. So that might be interesting to you too. How's everybody else doing? Sean, what's going on in your world?
As a lot of people, I'm working from home for the last little while up here. Ottawa's pretty much on lockdown and things getting more restrictive. So I had to build a second office, as I was mentioning, and doing 12-hour days. Uh, besides, besides that, catching up on my reading is about what I'm doing. And next month, I'm looking forward to because Amazon Prime is getting all the Bond movies. Hmm.
Ooh, there we go. That's something to stay in for. Oren, what's new with you?
Steep learning curve with online teaching. I've been trying to learn a quarter long course in about 4 days on Canvas learning and trying to populate my subjects for my students um, at a drop of a hat.
Mm, yeah, my stepmom is a teacher, and her college went 100% online as well in the last couple weeks. My dad called me up. He's like, "Hey, can you order me a webcam?" I was like, "Not for love or money right now." They are all out of stock. Those and DisplayPort cables are like gold right now. Bill, what's going on in your world?
Well, we've also turned into a homeschooling academy here with the three girls all learning remotely. Um, they all go to the same school, but it seems as though every teacher has their own idea on which services to use. And so some are using Zoom and some are using Edamomo or so there's like 4 or 5 different services that they're all using. And so I've had to come up to speed with all that to get
Uh
them
huh.
going on that. Um, I've been binge watching stuff as well. I watched Lock and Key. That one's pretty interesting if you're looking for something that's kind of Cthulhu Lovecraftian mixed with Narnia. It's kind of interesting. It's got the magic aspect, and it's got a nice little Lovecraftian mystery going on as well. So it was pretty good.
Cool.
And I'm a little ways into The Witcher now, so that's my next binge.
Try the comic if you like it, which Kean Locke is a great comic.
Yeah.
George, what's going on with you?
Oh, well, the old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. So I think the past couple of weeks have certainly been interesting.
Yeah.
I had a sore throat a few days ago, so that was a bit of an alarm. But I don't think I have the Wuhan virus, so that's positive.
Yeah, now is the time of year when we're all playing the game. Is it spring allergies or is it corona?
And I've been probating a will for a family friend. It's not something I normally do. And I didn't realize that apparently finding someone to do estate taxes is difficult, or relatively difficult, because their accountant doesn't do that, and neither does my accountant. So I need to learn how to do that, which is going to be interesting because I hate tax. It's pretty dense stuff, but you got to do what you got to do.
Carl, what's happening with you?
So much stuff. Yeah, I'm personally going to be responsible for 5% of the U.S. GDP not being met. Way too much projects, way too little time, and now I've just realized I have to unload my large supply of display port cables on Amazon. So yeah, thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, my brother called me up and was like, "Hey, how do I hook my laptop up to my monitors? Because I took them home from the office, but I need to get into my desktop that has to stay in the office." Like, well, you need a docking station. Like, all right, we got that, and he's like, "Wait, then I need DisplayPort cables." I was like, "Yeah, you do, because it's not going to come with the dock." He's like, "Yeah, they're out of stock everywhere."
Got a bunch at my house.
Because apparently the monitors didn't have HDMI, they only had DisplayPort and DVI. So we ended up having to do some weird thing with USB to DVI cables. Because he could get those for some reason. Yeah.
Can you even get like a greater than 30 hertz refresh rate on that?
All he does is spreadsheets for work, so
Still.
you know what? It's probably good enough for him.
Oh,
Good old days of making your own adapter. Crossing those things over. Pin 1 to pin 9.
All right. So who remembers last session?
Oh dear God. Every week feels like 3 weeks, so at this point it's kind of like, what did I do last Monday?
I hear you. Okay, so
I believe.
Oh, go ahead, Oren.
Look it up.
Yeah, I think we left off. We had just gotten done talking to Bizart.
Yes, so we opened last week with you guys stopping by the French embassy and finding out where Warren Bassart lived. Then you went to the Mosque of Ibn Tulan, and didn't seem to really know what to do once you got there. You kind of walked around the outside of the place and then left. Went over to Bassart's place. Found out that the address that you had was just a clothing shop.
Oh yes.
Staked out the clothing shop for a few hours. sitting at first a coffee shop and then a water pipe place.
We found Bizarre is an insane drug addict. He told us
Yes,
all this stuff.
yes, you did. You saw Bassart come out of the clothing shop at around 8 o'clock. The guy from the smoke shop, after a sufficient bribe, said, "Oh, you're looking for that guy. Here, take some of this," and handed you a bag of opium. Um, and then you managed to bribe Bassart back into his room with the bag of opium, and he smoked up and told you this crazy story about
Carlisle's a cultist.
the Carlisle. Well, you kind of had a pretty good idea that the Carlisles were probably cultists before this, but about the Carlisles disappearing into one of the pyramids for a while, and then coming back, acting weird, and him seeing this crazy ritual sacrifice and giant sphinx thing eating up a whole bunch of dead bodies out in the desert. And at this point, Bassart is definitely a broken man with a broken mind. And although he also mentioned, uh, he mentioned to you that he recovered out in the desert with a woman named Nuri, and you had heard that name as well from Faraz Najjar. So it's
Maybe at El Wasta.
around 9 o'clock at this point on Thursday, March 12th. You're in the backroom hovel of Warren Bassart, who has offered you to share his opium pipe with you. What are you doing?
That's a great question.
I thought we had gotten back.
No,
We
we kind of closed out with you guys in the back room. I'm happy to say that we're done here, but if there's anything else that you want to do here or ask Bassart.
I think
If
we were.
you'll-
Yeah, go ahead.
you-
And if you need a reminder of it, Egypt 1 in your handouts has the dialogue that that Bassart gave you.
It seems unlikely he's going to tell us anything else.
Yeah,
Got to get into the game.
I think we've got to go talk to Nuri.
Nuri.
Near Al Wasti. Her son worked for the Carlisle expedition, and we've heard
Oh,
her
yeah.
name come up twice.
Yeah, I also want to hit the museum again because I want to let the one guy know what's been going on. Our one ally here. Particularly about that the one mosque is under threat.
Oh, did we check out a second mosque last time?
Yes, we did.
That was at the beginning. You went to the Mosque of Ibn
Oh,
Tulun,
right.
and you got there, and
Mosque/insane asylum.
Insane Asylum, and you didn't seem to really know what to do, and so you left.
Yeah, we don't know any contacts there or anything.
Follow our standard protocol of breaking into things.
All
I
right,
mean,
folks. What would you? Are you just heading back to the hotel for the night and calling it a night?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Jesse will leave a few pounds with Bassart. Wish him the best of luck and be on our way.
Okay.
One bites the dust.
Friday morning. Friday the 13th,
Mm,
1925. March.
this doesn't happen to be a full moon, or
It is not a full moon.
okay? Is it a what's it called? A
It's
new moon?
probably a new moon. Let me find out. It's close to a new moon. Let's see. Well, you know what? I took these down. This. Wait a minute. These do not
Are we concerned
match.
about the moon?
All right, let's Interesting. It is a waning gibbous moon.
What the heck?
I understand.
It was full moon on the 10th.
A little sliver taken out.
Are we
All
back
right.
at the hotel?
Yeah.
You are back at the hotel. It is Friday morning.
All right. I'd like to take a little trip to the museum when it opens. Do believe it's just a trolley away.
Yes. Is that what you are all getting up to, or?
Yeah, I'll head to the museum as well.
Okay.
See
Sure,
if
why
he's
not?
got any information based on what we've learned.
Eh,
Yeah, I think he was going to check on a couple things as well.
Okay. You head over to the Egyptian Museum, and Dr. Kafour takes you into his office and says, "Gentlemen, what can I do for you today?"
All right. I kind of inform him of what we found out from the dealer. And that they seems that the group in question, without using their name, is very interested in something that's in this one mosque, and that they are keeping an eye on it. There might have been already an attempt already at this mosque to get it, whatever it is.
He thinks for a moment and says, I know of the place. Um, I'd recommend that you ask to speak with the Nazir. Um,
The Vizier or Mazir?
Nazir, Nazir.
All right.
Um, he would be the head of what one might call spiritual healing at the mosque. If anybody knows about an item that would be of interest to our mutual enemy, it would probably be one of them, I would guess.
How much should what should I say and what should I not say is a more important thing.
Honestly, I'd be uh, if you can get a private meeting, I'd be as forthright as possible.
All right.
If you're around others, I wouldn't mention the Brotherhood.
Oh, I wouldn't either. It's been made clear. We know that so far we haven't been, at least as far as our knowledge, being followed, except for when they attacked um, the merchant. Um, However, we have not been followed since, so I think they were watching him in particular for him seeing any type of Westerner. He has taken off running. Uh, we have had no luck finding the Dutch um, member of the uh, expedition that had recently expedited the mummy.
I've also made some inquiries, but haven't been able to locate him. But I left word for him to either contact you or myself. So
Right.
we'll see if we can run him to ground.
Mm-hmm. And we did run into the one man that we had found out from the old Carlisle expedition, a Bizart, and I will, and if the others will pipe in, we'll mention to him the stuff he told us. Now, understandably, he is addicted to opium, so I take some of what he says with a grain of salt, except for what I had saw over in England.
So Dr. Kafour kind of lets out a deep sigh and says, "I only wish that it was strictly madness, but I've read of some of the things that he says he saw. I've heard rumors that there are things that move among the sands. It wouldn't surprise me if to find that all of this was true."
So our next plan is we're planning to go out Saturday, I do believe, to see the old dig site where the um, Penhew Foundation had last been. Um, the old site, not the new place they've gone to. However, it would be nice to be able to talk to some of the members of the current crew. Though personally, I would prefer talking to the lower members than the head officials of the because
Well,
I
you'd have to get out to Memphis for that.
yeah, that we're probably going to have to do that. But we might as well check out the other site first the where they left off. I am kind of curious about some of the rumors that you had mentioned about how things went missing.
Going to Giza isn't a bad idea, although now that you've heard from two different people about this Nuri of El Wasta, that might be something that you want to
Yeah, we're going to
look
try to
at.
see if we can. Is that out in the Giza area?
Not even close.
All right. Well, we're going to try to set up through the hotel a day. That might have to be on Sunday.
It's out closer to medium. Um, yeah, I would give yourself a day for that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, because it looks like Giza is not that far away, but we might take a while to look at Giza.
well,
But
yeah, I mean,
yeah, medium is definitely from the map is quite a distance. But we wanted to keep you up to date on what's going on, so at least someone knows what's going on in case something happens to us.
so
Which will,
I
of
looked
course.
at these daggers that you gave me.
Yes.
Honestly, the clue that you should have seen was not the daggers themselves, but the box that they were in, and he points to uh, the box that has depicted in silver unwholesome creatures which look like a bizarre cross between an ape and a lizard whose arms are unnaturally extended. Um, and says, these daggers are used as part of a binding ritual to bind creatures like these after you summon them. Some people have been known to call them dimensional shamblers.
Dang it.
Are these weapons effective against them, or how does it
No,
bind
they're
them?
used in the binding ritual.
So they're just binding daggers. They don't really do anything besides that.
Correct.
Then gentlemen, do you believe that it would be better since he has this vault here that is protected? It might be better for them to stay here.
I'm happy to hold them for you if you
Yeah,
don't
that
need
makes
them.
sense.
Yeah, because if they're not going to be helpful to us, I would hate to have them fall in the wrong hands.
Which usually is our hands. But overlooking that,
Yeah, we will leave those in your good hands. We know that at least in this vault you have, they will not know of its existence from what you've said. At
I
least we've.
I will do the best I can to keep them hidden.
Mhm. I would also suggest that maybe we have some type of, just in case when we start getting noticed or followed, we have some way of contacting you without coming here. I'm concerned that I don't want to drag you into this.
I mean, you can always uh, either get me on the phone or leave a telegram if you need to.
All right, then we will do it that way then. Um, I just want to make sure that you're not in danger. Someone has to know what's going on. Now, I'd hoped maybe the daggers were as of use to us, but if they're not, I'd rather take them out of the enemy's hands.
I would uh, I would not recommend learning the magics that you would need to know in order to utilize these things.
If it's anything like some of the things we saw in England in that forest, I don't want to see those again.
I suspect Alistair already knows.
I've learned a few of them.
Yeah,
You sing them in your sleep.
yes. Well, I appreciate the research you've done for us. And if you hear anything about the Dutchman or about anything from the Memphis dig, let me know, or let us know, I should say. You know where we're staying. And keep yourself safe. Um, things are afoot in Egypt, more so than usual.
Yes.
Yeah, I look at the others. So shall we try to set up something for Sunday to go to Medium to see this Wasta woman?
Yeah, it's today's Friday. Yeah, I think that gives us enough time to prepare.
All right. So we now after
Well,
seeing
one of the things you may want to think about, you may want to swap things around. I mean,
true
Giza is,
real nearby.
well, you're going to spend 2 hours on a train to get to Giza. If you need to spend any amount of time at the pyramid at all, there's your whole day. Medium is another 2 hours past that.
That's basically seeing this person, talking to him, and leaving. All right, we'll try to see if we can switch it so that Saturday we go to Medium and Sunday we go to Giza. Shall we try to get back to that one mosque then, gentlemen?
Or breaking in. Wait, what's at Giza? I'm trying to figure out.
The
Clive
former-
expedition was at.
Yeah, the Carlisle expedition was near Giza, but more importantly, the where the mummy was found recently was at
Right.
Giza.
Yeah, the dig site.
And I want to check out
Mummy
the
is
digs.
disappeared.
So the mummy was found in a hidden room in the smallest of the three great pyramids.
And I do believe you said that one of the reports said that they thought they were taken somewhere in the area. It's been long enough. I don't remember exactly.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you were asking.
I can't remember, but wasn't there something to explore in Giza besides the sites? There was something about how it was taken or what
No,
someone
you have
had
no idea.
suggested. Okay.
Just that the mummy vanished.
I will ask our museum friend. Who do we talk to in Giza to find out more about the heist or more information about the mummy theft?
Anyone and no one. There's the the police looked at it. It was huge news for months. So everyone will know the story, but no one will have any details for you that I haven't already told you and that aren't public knowledge.
All right. Because I can't remember exactly what you said, but there was something you said that piqued my interest.
So to summarize again for you, the Clive expedition found a hidden room or claimed to have found a hidden room in the smallest of the three great pyramids. In it, they found a mummy that they believed was Queen Nitocris, a pharaoh of the 6th dynasty. But before any tests could be run, or the mummy could be authenticated, or unwrapped, or even examined, the mummy was stolen, disappeared in plain sight.
And there was no.
Shortly after that, they dismissed Jan von Hoevelen, the Dutchman, for incompetence. Basically, made him the fall guy, and moved on to Memphis to do other dig work.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know where he is?
We're still trying to
No,
find him.
we've all been trying to locate him. I put some feelers out. You checked in at the embassy.
I might want to hold, guys, I might want to hold off on the Giza until we talk to him so we have a bit more detail about how things disappeared in Giza. Because just vanished in thin air, I would have thought that there would have been some idea how it disappeared. Well, I thank him, and we will look around the museum a little bit, like we're touring around, and then we will leave. As as we're heading back to the hotel, I know I'm taking a look around casually to see if we're being followed.
Okay, go ahead and make a spot hidden roll.
Not that I'm paranoid. Well, everybody who plays this game goes, yes, we are. All right, I'll do my spot hidden. All right. It looks like I had a regular success.
You have not seen anything that makes you think you're being followed.
Well, I sure hope we're being lucky. All right. So,
What is your plan from here, gentlemen?
well, we got the rest of the day here, right? Correct?
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's only 10 a.m. at this point.
Well, when we get back to the hotel, I want to set up so that we're changing it from Giza to medium
Okay.
to find this woman named Wasta. But that, you know, um,
Well, her name is Nuri, and the town is
Nuri.
El Wasta.
Yeah, going to El Wasta and finding this woman named El Nuri, that she has some information about a former dig, is the information I give. Or I guess if I go to El Wasta, I won't say anything more than that because I'll let the guide know the rest. And shall we check the Dutch embassy, see if they got any new information? It's been another day. We can at least check in, see if anything new's popped up.
You know, all they said was that they would give him the message if he checked in with them.
Okay. Anybody wounded?
Yes. Sorry, you all got 2 hit points back today. Any of you who were wounded, for another night's full rest.
We could try to hit that one mosque, but we're gonna be without a guide unless he's available.
Yeah, what do we think is there?
Well, we've been given a name to get a hold of, a Nasser or Nasser.
And we know that the cultists are after something there.
Right.
Don't know what it is.
What is the Nassar? I guess I didn't write that down.
So the Nazar is a title. He would be in charge of. So one thing that you did, Sugar Lumps. Thank you for resubscribing. So one thing that that you did find out the last time that you were there is that in addition to looking after the mental and physical well-being of everyone, they also look after the spiritual well-being, and the Nazar are in charge of that.
Is there someone available today that could take us over there?
There is no Dragoman available today, but they have no problem. You know, you have Salim for the full day tomorrow anyway, and it's not a big deal for them to change it to from Giza to El Wasta, since you're keeping him for a full day.
Right. Okay. Do we want to take the chance of going there by ourselves to the mosque? I mean, I speak enough Arabic to get by, but
I mean, what's the cover story? Or do we not need one?
well, remember I donated some money last time.
You could donate more money.
I could donate more money, but the other issue here is I wanted to know more about the mosque and their good works.
Well, is there any way of us researching it without necessarily going to the mosque, so that we might learn,
Yeah.
someplace that we could gather some information
Is there a
before going? Someplace I could basically put, let's say, my library use to use.
Yeah. All right. Well, we could do that. We haven't done a good library hunt. Is there a Cairo library, like a major library?
So there are some libraries. Although one of the larger ones is in the museum you just left.
Hmm.
But there are some smaller libraries as well.
Which any of the smaller libraries might meet our needs?
What information are you trying to find out?
I would think we would want to have maybe a religious library, something that would say, what mosques were what maybe what had been contained there.
So you're looking to find out what is there? Is that what you're?
Well, just history of the basically history of the mosque. It would be under a history, but we're also trying to find what might have been secured there through that. And I'm thinking the most likely would be like a religious library.
Or when it got converted to.
Because that would probably have the most likely.
So Liam told you most of this when you got there. Anything that's going to be in the public record. It's the oldest complete mosque in the city of Cairo. It's less ornate than many of Cairo's later holy places. Originally, Ibn Tulan was a walled court open to the sky with shade along several sides. However, since the middle of the 19th century, the mosque has been converted and used as an asylum for the infirm and insane rather than a place of worship.
Well, what do you guys think? Maybe go back to the museum and check out the library?
Sure, I don't object. I mean, try and figure out a lead is something point us in the right direction.
All right.
We got a bunch of information last time that we could still look up and see, do some research on.
So yeah, we there's nothing hard, and that library, that museum is big enough to ponder around anyway. And it's would not be a surprise for tourists to go back there for like take a lunch here at the hotel, and then head back. So we're going to do that. We're going to head back to the museum. And who has great library use, or who's a good bookworm, I should say.
I have 59.
Yeah, I've got 54.
All right. Let's see what's
Jesse hated the library.
Yeah. Lepon will just he'll be with you. He'll just assist because he sucks at library, but he will be there to assist and to keep an eye on things. So we'll head back to the museum and see if we can do research on this mosque. What do you think on the Queen?
Sure. How about on the mummy that got stolen? See if there's any historical background more so on that than would be just in the news. Like,
so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna make you waste time on this.
Okay.
You have all of the information that's publicly
Okay.
available on
Oh.
both Queen Nitocris. Matter of fact, you've got way more than that's in the public record because
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's who we
the
made friends with. Okay.
the doctor gave you that information the first time and the second time that you talked to him. You have all of the public information about the mosque that you're going to find in any library.
Hmm.
If there's other things that you would like to research more, let me know. But those things you have already, you have all of the information that you're going to get about
Hmm.
both of those, short of going back to the mosque.
Hmm. Well, we could relax today. That would help our comrades that are still healing.
I'm always a big fan of fast forwarding if we don't have any other ideas.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, I think
So-
our next thing is Nuri.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
Forward.
Fast forward. Okay. It is Saturday morning.
Another 2 points.
Another 2 points back. Are you updating your character sheet, Jameis? Because I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay,
There we
great.
go.
Perfect.
It didn't take the last time for some reason.
Awesome. Okay. So Salim meets you in the lobby at the morning and says, "Gentlemen, I hear there's a change of plans, and you'd like to go out to the town of El Wasta."
Indeed, we do.
I must say, it's an odd choice, but I'm always happy to assist.
Why
We'll
would
be
you say it's odd?
well, it's
We're
a
full of odd choices.
very small town, kind of off the beaten path, but we'll take a train down to Memphis, and then I should have a car waiting to meet us there and take us another 10 miles down the road to El Wasta. What are we looking for when we get there?
I still want to say Elvis.
I was on the street, so
Wait, so her son worked in the region. I forget. What did her son do?
he worked on the Carlisle expedition.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, if we could actually get him to join the party, or fill us in on what happened with Carlisle, he might actually be one of the cultists too, having worked on the expedition.
So, all right. Is there a destination at Al Wasta that we're supposed to be going to? 7 miles. There's a pyramid there, right?
No.
Why do I have 7
Mary's
miles
house.
southwest of pyramid at Median? Oh, maybe that's Median itself. Or Medum. Edom. How do you pronounce that?
I just always say medium, even though I know it's spelled a little bit differently. Adam, I don't know. It's
Whatever.
just bad. Took me the longest time to realize it wasn't medium, so
I wrote down
never
medium, but
I
then I
never
just realized I saw it
self-corrected.
saw it on the map just now. I was like, what the? I don't know. We'll know when we get there. I really don't know.
Just
What's
walk through the streets yelling, Nuri!
What's the last name of this woman?
You don't have one.
I don't have one. It's better all the time.
So Salim wants to know why you guys are going to El Wasta. What are you telling him?
We move in mysterious ways. Well, is this where Carlisle used to be? Where did? I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that, but out of character.
So, out of character, the only thing that you know is that two people now have told you to go and see a wise woman named Nuri in El Wasta, and that so Faraz told you that that she's a wise woman and would might know more about the Brotherhood, and Basart told you that she and her son took care of him and helped nurse him back to sanity,
So I think
and that she was the one that told him where to go in order to see the ritual that drove him mad.
okay. So I think the simple answer to this question is, we were told that there's a wise woman in this town that would be able to answer a number of our questions. Part of the reason why we came to Egypt in the first place for our investigations.
I see. Do you know where she lives?
I give as much detail as we have.
So you tell him that you know that
In
her
El
name is
Wasta.
her name is Nuri and that she's in El Wasta.
Yes.
Okay.
How big is
So,
this place?
So
Can't be that many wise women named Nuri.
Get to the town. It's all the same.
Salim kind of nods, and while he doesn't say it, he is very careful not to say it out loud, but definitely looking at his face, he's like, oh, tourists. But his smile just like barely slips because he is highly professional at what he does.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's somewhat exasperated by this, and then immediately he smiles back again and says, "Yes, gentlemen. Well, we will do what we can to find this Nuri for you."
have you ever read Don Quixote? It kind of just explains us.
I'm wearing the overly European explorer looking clothes that I bought last session.
Awesome.
Oh,
Got my pith helmet.
Jolly good.
I'm gonna smoke a pipe.
getting right into character.
Okay.
It's my character getting into another character.
We have got some serious thunder going on out here right now.
Oh yeah.
I just had a huge downpour here about 15 minutes ago, but seems to have
How's that possible?
slipped
We're in the
by
same
right now.
town.
Yeah, we got an extreme weather warning coming up for rain too.
I didn't hear anything.
It just boom, 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 boom. I'm like, look at them. Flashes outside, a bunch of booms.
I guess I'm in the boring part.
All
of Waltham.
Cthulhu all the time. Okay. So you go to the train station and get on the train, and in a few hours you find yourself at Memphis. Oh, I just saw a bunch of lightning. Real life. Then you
Nothing here.
the car meets you and takes you about 20 minutes down the road, and you get to the small town of El Wasta. You would guess that El Wasta is probably a few thousand people, and it's spread out over you would guess probably 5 or 6 miles. there's there's a couple of bazaars in the city. Otherwise, it's a fairly small and sleepy town. Um, so Salim begins asking around in the bazaar for a Nuri.
Before we also do that, just as can just roll, make sure we're not being followed, and I think we're absolutely fine.
You're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are good. No one's
Nope.
following you at all. You're good, man.
Is Salim our local contact or?
Yeah, he's the Dragoman who's been taking you around for the week and a half that you've been in town.
So, is he having any luck, or should we try a luck roll?
So Salim asks around and comes to you and says, "Gentlemen, I've got some bad news. Nuri seems to be an exceptionally popular name in this town. We may be here a while."
Of course.
Of course.
He says, "Can you give me any other information that might be helpful? Aside from the fact that her name was Nuri and she lives in this town."
She's
son.
known as a wise woman and a son who worked with the Carlisle expedition.
Digging. Archaeological digs.
Anything else that might stand out?
She's known as a wise woman.
Yes, but that's
Common as well.
well, any older woman is sometimes known as a wise woman around here. So, is there any other piece of information that you can give me that might help?
Yeah, they had taken care of a Western man a number of years ago. Had gotten him back into health.
Ah, okay. Well, let me see what I can do here.
And we appreciate your endeavors.
So, especially with that last bit of information, after an hour, he is able to find directions to what he believes is the right Nuri's house. So, he takes you to a tiny hovel. The first person that you run into, let's see, do I have tokens for them?
Oh, my phone just chimed at us that severe thunderstorm warning and quarter-size hail has been detected, and I can tell you I'm hearing hail.
I'm not hearing
it all of a sudden.
I'm not hearing the hail, but I've definitely started getting thunder here.
Yeah, they just at 8:34 was the severe thunderstorm warning came in.
Okay, well, if we all go off the air, it means that lightning struck too close.
Well, I wouldn't like hail. That would hurt my mangoes.
Okay, so the first person that you see is a young man in his you would guess late 20s, early 30s. his right arm and the right side of his face have been gouged away.
Mm.
Um, he's a very large man, and his speech is very slow and halting. Um, and he asks you in Arabic what he can do for you.
I'll mention in my Arabic as well as I guess Salim about we're looking for Nuri El Nuri. The
So
woman that
so he kind of stares at you and says, "And what are you looking for this Nuri for?"
we had been told by several people that she was wise and she had taken care of a Westerner a number of years ago, a Bazart.
So he stares at you for another couple of minutes. He seems a little bit wary, but uh, at last he nods and says, "Nuri is my mother. I will. You can come inside, but please, she's not well."
Okay.
Sorry to hear that.
So he takes you inside the hut, and
She's also an opium addict.
this is very um. Nuri looks extremely old. Her injuries make it impossible to tell her actual age. She's hideously scarred. Um, both of her hands and most of her jaws appear to have been burned away. And the disfigurement is so bad that any of you who don't have the hardened talent, I'm gonna need you to make sanity rolls.
That would be me, I do
Jesse's hard.
believe. I gotta take a look. I'm fairly sure I don't. So let's see.
Yeah.
That'd be a talent, right?
Yes, I believe that
That's
Jesse
not
and
mine.
Martin both took that.
Yeah, I have
Just
two
realized I have
different
this
talents.
insane talent. You only get to use that when you're insane?
Don't remember. I remember you get it when you're insane. But I also think that it was something that wouldn't be. Remind me what your.
I remember everything perfectly. It's
Oh,
probably
you've got
not
perfect
germane to
recall.
this,
Yes.
but
Yeah, and I've got
most
insane
of it,
sense of
yeah.
direction.
Well, my power just blinked here, but so far
Yeah, mine did too.
my UPS
Oh,
managed to
that's good.
smooth it out. So
All right.
just heads up to everyone that
So
we.
it looks like I failed.
Okay. If you. Wow, Alistair, hard success. Good for you.
I assume I
Even
lose a
with my
couple
critical.
points.
You are going to lose 1 point.
All right, 71. Okay. It happens. I'd rather lose at 1 point than a whole bunch.
Is this recent or some time ago? The damage inflicted upon her.
It looks like it was not recent. Okay, so insane talents you can use at any time. You just can only get them by going insane. But once you have them, you can use them at any time, just like you would any other pulp talent.
Hmm.
Okay.
right.
Oh, cool.
Always remember Jesse has insane recall and can roll with advantage EDU to try and remember something that.
And I have an insane sense of direction.
And same as me.
Excellent.
But if there's two people in the party, it cancels each other out.
Okay.
You have two parties.
So
You're never sure what time.
He
it
wins
is.
that away.
so Nuri, yeah, she looks really not well. She sees you come in and her eyes light up. She begins making awful gurgling noises and points with her stumps to a corner of the hut. This disturbs her son, and he rushes over to her, trying to quiet her down.
I will head over to where she pointed out and saying, "Thank you."
Okay.
Yeah.
In the corner, amidst blankets, pots, and other bric-a-brac, is a rush basket painted with a red symbol. And I will accept either an occult or archaeology roll to identify that symbol.
Well, I don't have archaeology very well, so
Alistair's up.
The heck.
Okay. Alistair and Orin, with your successful occult rolls, you both recognize that as the glyph as an ancient Egyptian symbol of protection.
I ask Saeed to ask her whether she wants us to take this.
So she is continuing to just gurgle and point at it.
Okay.
Are you opening the?
Yes.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Okay, and in the box you find a 7 by 9-inch slab of white stone, several inches thick. Its irregular edges make it apparent that it was broken from a larger piece of worked stone. On its surface is inscribed a strange symbol which appears to be remarkably similar to an eye of Horus combined with some other symbol, possibly the head of an inverted Ankh. I'm going to show you this now. It is Egypt 2 in your handouts.
Most interesting.
Nuri begins silently pleading with you to take the stone.
And I said, "Yes, we will."
At that point, she closes her eyes and lays back onto her bed.
All right. I leave. I leave a couple pounds with the son,
Same here. Let's all toss in.
and I say, I do believe we've come for what we came for.
Okay. I will accept archaeology or science geology rolls to find out anything more about the stone.
Well, I used my archaeology roll, but I failed when I rolled it.
How do you fumble an archaeology roll?
You dropped the thing. Could
I think it's
could I re-roll?
If you re-roll,
Well,
that's
yeah.
pushing
You
it.
you used archaeology before to find out about the box that it was in.
Oh, the
So
box.
so I will
I
let
still
you.
fail. Can I push it?
I mean, you could spend 7 luck to get to your
Oh, I wanna
70.
push it.
Well, I mean,
You push it, you break it. It's
Pushing
yeah,
it.
yeah. If I mean, you can push it, but if you
just
fail,
remember.
I think
something
I
bad
can
will
do it.
happen.
I think I can do it.
Or you could just spend the 7 luck.
Just
I wanna
spend the
push it.
7 luck.
I want to push it.
Okay,
7 luck.
you're welcome to push it.
Or someone else can do it.
None of us have the archaeology skill.
Does anyone have
apparently.
science geology?
Science geology.
Engineering. That's not my science.
Mm.
Okay. Well, I don't know. How do I justify this?
Well, I'm just saying, you don't want to break the dang thing. Just spend the 7 luck.
No,
Okay.
that's no fun at all.
Okay, so
I study real hard.
so
I
so
roll up
here's
my
what I'm
sleeves.
gonna. So you were looking at it here in the hut and you couldn't figure anything out, and so you take it outside, and under
Use
the
my
light,
insane recall.
you're able, and with your insane recall,
I studied it in
you're
school.
able to identify that the incisions are many centuries old, and that such limestone was used as a facing on many pyramids. Um, as you look at it under the strong sunlight, you realize that the stone fragment is not white, or even creamy white, but it has a pinkish cast. Um, and you realize that the facing that the only pyramid that has a facing color like that would be the red pyramid at Dashur.
I think like the scene in my head is like while everybody's like yelling at Jesse not to screw around with it anymore, he just like sits there and starts reading, and then suddenly just comes up with like this ridiculously detailed description of where this piece of stone could have just only come from.
Yes, that sounds good to me.
And then it's like, what?
Okay.
Where was the red pyramid?
The red pyramid is at Dashur.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's right here on the map.
So, can we, if we're out, is the sun still around? Can we talk to him?
The sun is
Come all this way.
yeah, the sun will. So he comes back out after he's settled his mother down, and says, kind of says to you, well, will there be anything else, gentlemen?
Ask him. We had heard you had worked for a former expedition.
Yes, I did work on the Carlisle expedition at one point, but I left the expedition after everyone, after the Carlisle and his companions disappeared into the bent pyramid.
Hmm. How did you get hurt?
I'd rather not speak of it.
Okay. Um, I look at the others? Do you guys want me to try to persuade him?
Oh wait, before we just go. So you left early on. I mean, on that. What was your impressions of the leadership of that expedition? Had you worked on any others?
I was a day laborer for most of my youth.
Sorry, I just missed that. I like smelled something burning, and turns out they're baking downstairs.
Oh, okay.
I hope it's something good.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
my
like,
wife.
is something burning or am I having a stroke? She's like, yeah, it bubbled over and went all over the oven. Yeah.
My wife had made empanadas earlier today.
My 14-year-old now is she's making Amish cinnamon bread.
Mm. All right.
So much for homeschooling.
All right. Um,
So he just sort of stops there, saying he's a day laborer.
Yes.
Okay, so he doesn't have or sharing any sort of opinion.
I just don't know if I want to push it with this. Yeah, I'm gonna try to persuade him to maybe tell us a bit more. I will use my persuade. Hopefully that'll work, or charm, whichever one is better. Charm is 50, persuade is 50, so either one is good. So I'll try to persuade him. No.
Misfortune.
Well, I didn't fumble, so that's the answer. He doesn't want to say something. He doesn't want to. And I said, "Oh, I appreciate you taking the time."
Yeah, we're not getting anything. All right.
We've tried.
So Salim kind of steps in at this point and says, "Gentlemen, I think we should.
That only works with the ladies.
I think we should leave these
yes, I agree.
poor folks alone.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
you've gotten what you came for."
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
And we start the long trip back
Very good.
because it's probably going to take us the rest of the day to get back. I tell Salim that he's done an excellent job. We had heard about the woman from Westerner that had been healed by her, and I appreciate his hard work. It is an unfortunate thing for both the mother and the son what life has brought to him.
Okay, it's coming up to 9 o'clock. Do we want to take our 10-minute break here, and then?
Yeah, that would be kind of nice.
Great. Let's come back at 9:05, and we'll finish up the second half.
Excellent.
All right. Those of you watching on Twitch, please enjoy the break music.